My apologies. I was trying to do a whole pile of stuff last second. Okay, here we go. Dum, da, da, da. Ellie, when you're ready.
Thank you, Kevin. Am my voice being okay?
Mm-hmm.
Great, thank you. Okay, here we go. Welcome to the VWBPE 2026 closing ceremony. What a great time we have had these last 3 days. They've just flown by with amazing speakers, presenters, social activities, posters, and exhibits. We all learned a lot, played a lot, collaborated with colleagues, and made new friends. Let's make some noise for VW 2026 Insights. Thank you, guys. My name is Becky Adams, Elli Pinion across the metaverse. I'm so honored to welcome you to this year's closing ceremony. Tonight, you will meet some of the hardworking people from behind the scenes who have for the past year been planning and organizing our conference. You will also hear about our post-conference activities and plans for next year's VWBPE 2027 conference. We are just a few minutes away from discovering the recipient of the 2026 VWBPE Thinkerer Award for outstanding contribution and leadership in immersive environments. Our closing ceremony would not be the same without one of Second Life's most famous celebrities, the legendary Pookie Amsterdam, our MC for tonight. Pookie has been our closing host since almost the beginning of VWBPE, gracing us with her wit and wisdom since 2010. Pookie is the CEO, producer, and writer for Pookie Media Films, an animation studio and virtual world entertainment company. She has been busy working on AI videos, which you can see on her YouTube channel, and we hope you were able to attend her amazing presentation today. Pookie is a strong advocate for excellence in education, especially the visual arts, as evident through her machinima and video in virtual worlds. She is outspoken about her enormous respect and admiration for the work that educators do each day. We have the utmost respect and admiration for her work as well. Please give a warm VWBPE welcome and a huge round of applause to our host for this evening, Pookie Amsterdam.
Hey everybody, great to see you. Thank you, thank you. Once upon a time, we all logged in for the very first time. And once upon a time, we were all noobs. Some of us spiritually still are. What followed were journeys of discovery, ones we never imagined possible. Worlds where we could fly, walk on water, explore the impossible, and then inspired by that freedom, chose to learn more and teach more. And if you learn something new every second day, isn't that living the insightful life? Because once you know, you know. And as they say, once you're a pickle, you can never be a cucumber again. And honestly, thank goodness for that. The cucumber had no idea what it was capable of. Once you've experienced the beauty and wonder of virtual worlds, there's no going back. You have experienced and expanded what is possible. And that matters, especially now at a time when education itself is being challenged. Once again, the VWBPE has created an environment of the future. This is ground zero for tomorrow in so many ways. And what is amazing is that it has always been. This year, space tourism arrived literally and figuratively. And from outer space to the mud, that is all in a second day. Wetlands were explored, allowing an investigation of environment and need, putting us in the middle of it. Falling forward game design is powerful and harkens a kind of character building. The idea that struggling for something is worth it, and that resonates in a world of point and squirt options. Games that develop character and strength through inner stability seem enlightened. This year's program was rich in variety and depth. It is always worthwhile for insights. Blue Baker Low Tide's presentation on a better mode for STEM teaching gave a talk instead of a gamification model, a studio-based one for learning engineering. And students can be hands-on here from anywhere in the world together. This is a place of profound learning experiences. Philip Rosedale reminded us of the power of a single world to spark millions of stories, relationships, and opportunities. We live in a simulation that emphasizes learning and sharing what we know. For spawning us, we thank him. And as we look ahead, we also embrace the role of AI, how we shape it and how it shapes us. Because a virtual life well lived, full of creativity, connection, and purpose, is something truly profound. So let me ask you, how many of you have felt real joy here? That moment of flow, of discovery, of bliss. That is the power of what you do. A form of resilience you provide for yourself and others. This, the 19th VWBPE conference, carries us into a second decade of possibility. And now it is my great pleasure to introduce the driving force behind it all, our head honcho, the man with the original plan, Phelan Corrimal, also known as Kevin Feenan. Thank you, Phelan.
Awesome. Thank you, Pookie.
Bet.
VWBPE would not be possible without months of work contributed by so many volunteers, exhibitors, presenters, mentors, and of course the organization committee themselves. Each year, the conference begins more than a year in advance with the executive team, that being Becky Adams, Marie Vans, and myself, helping to set the direction and shape new ideas based on your feedback and suggestions. From there, the work is carried forward by our committee leads, Becky Adams and Marie Vans for programs, Buffy Beal for volunteers, I Sky Silverweb for information, assets, and mentors, Bevan and Beth Ghostraven for marketing and communications, and Lee Hardest as Chandra for social programs. And of course, I want to thank all of them, along with all of their committee members and their vice chairs, for the dedication and care they bring to this conference. I would also especially like to recognize Becky and Marie for all of their work on this year's program, as both my executive and programs co-chairs. I have again had the privilege of serving as chair for the finance and logistics alongside my co-chairs, Leticia De Leon for logistics, biome design and building, and the Rock and Bones mystery game, Francisco Koolhoven for the stream team, and Hal Jordan for security. Together, they help coordinate close to 50 volunteers, supporters, and vendors whose behind-the-scenes work brings this conference to life. Finally, a big thank you to VirtualAbility and to the voice-to-text transcriptionists, Electra Panther, Katie Cunningham, and Cipra Techno. Thank you all for continuing to support our academic programs. I would now like to introduce my executive team member and co-chair for programs, Marie Vans. Marie, aka Ann Vams Lapis, is an associate professor in the Department of Systems Engineering at Colorado State University. Her research focuses on the use of VR in education and teaches several courses in social virtual reality programs.
I ain't got no wine, no nothing.
I always have a bottle of wine, blueberry Tuesday. I know you got
Thank you, Phelan.
When I go to Publix, the Publix is
VWBPE Insights has shown us how to rise to the challenge of a changing world, showing us the flexibility and potential of education in online environments. Our keynote speakers set an amazing tone across 3 days. Philip Rosedale reminded us why virtual worlds still matter after 2 decades, that agency, embodiment, and genuine human presence are at the heart of what we build here. Ryan Schultz challenged us to think bigger, questioning the assumptions and the biases that may be quietly limiting us how we use virtual worlds in education. And Mark Childs took us somewhere unexpected, into philosophy itself, asking what it truly means to be present in a space, and inviting all of us to help find the language for experiences that still resist easy description. It was hard to keep up at the quadrivium discussions. The ideas were fast and furious, and a couple of the workshops experimented with alternative mixed delivery. Posters were also interesting, so please take the time to review those if you haven't had a chance already. Building a program takes time and starts with outstanding proposals from our community of educators, innovators, and researchers. It's a team effort as the program comes together, and what a team! I am relatively new to this program committee, and I want to begin by thanking my co-chair, Becky Adams, also known as Elli Pinion, who has been my tireless mentor and cheerleader every step of the way. I simply could have not done any of this without her. I also want to thank Phelan, our executive director, and the person without whom this conference would not exist. The social team created magic, from coffee chats to dances, from tea ceremonies to the breathtaking dance in the midst of chaos, featuring the Muse Dance Company. You brought so much fun to this conference. And to the communications team, your hard work getting the word out is the reason why so many people found their way here. You are the reason this community keeps growing. Our immersive experiences are wonderful, and we have still several scheduled after our conference. The post-conference sessions start on Monday, it's actually March 23rd, and continue until April 1st this year. So join us and see what your VWBPE colleagues are doing. You can check the program for details at this URL. And thank you to those keeping the VWBPE Flickr pool filled for all to enjoy. Check it out here at this URL. And finally, I want to thank Virtual Ability and the flying fingers of the voice-to-text transcriptionists Electra Panther, Cypher Techno, and Katie Canningham. And of course, for our fearless leader in all things accessible, the incomparable Gentle Heron. And thank you all for continuing to support our academic program. And now I'd like to introduce Buffy, our volunteer chair. Buffy Beal, also known as Buffy Bai, is a service integration engineer, a futurist wannabe, a mega hero social innovator, a board member for Nonprofit Commons and the Metaverse Librarians, an SL mentor, a VWBPE volunteer chair, and a Join Us founder. You can find that URL here in the chat as well. Thank you.
Thank you for that lovely introduction, Marie. Keynote, Wrangler, and more. And hello to everyone out there. I'm waving to you whether you're here with me today in this incredible one-of-a-kind in any world auditorium, a shout out to the build team, watching the live stream, or viewing the recording in the future, and a quick shout out to my family. Hi, fam. It's been my great honor to volunteer as the volunteer chair for our conference. I said at the beginning, my wish for all volunteers is that you have fun, maybe make a few new friends, and perhaps learn something you didn't expect to, even if it's how to handle 10 avatars dropping in at once, or being cool under pressure when we have an oopsie. The fact that volunteers come back year after year is really the greatest testimony that we are doing something right. Yes, volunteering takes time, effort, and commitment. Occasionally, it takes a deep breath and a calm voice saying, everything is fine, we totally got this. This year has been no different. With volunteers from 12 countries, you are truly the global glue that holds our conference together. And together, with the organizing committee as your backbone, you pulled it off once again. And if you're a new volunteer, welcome to our team and thanks for signing up. We come from different time zones, different backgrounds, different accents, eh? And yet, here we are, all working together as a community of its own. We are a connected mean machine, and it's likely most of us have never met in real life. Raw, as Xenia would say, make that a hearty raw to our volunteers. I'd like to give a special thank you to my VWBPE 26 Volunteer Committee, who have been meeting with me faithfully every week since December to ensure our volunteers had everything they needed for a positive experience. To Dee Dee Beaker, Communications Lead, whose incredible attention to detail has earned her the nickname Eagle Eye. And to Nova Sanders, our rookie host training and support crew who jumped in, sleeves rolled up and raring from the get-go. To Blue Barker Lowtide, host training and support lead, our Blue, a mainstay of the conference for many years now, who brings both calm and joy to everyone around him. A dream team indeed, a big team hug for us. And finally, a personal thank you to Elli Pinion, my mentor and dearest friend, who showed me with patience, kindness, and grace what it truly means to be a volunteer for our conference. Because volunteering is not just about doing tasks, it's about showing up for each other and creating something meaningful together. It's about the pride that comes from our connected hearts, the teamwork and camaraderie that comes from winning the battle of everything that could go wrong and turning it into the glorious victory of this dynamic conference success. Nobody even noticed that sometimes we were scrambling, chasing whoopsies. I'm feeling very proud of what we accomplished together, and I hope every volunteer feels the same because, simply said, we sure rocked our conference, didn't we? After all our hard work, we volunteers absolutely deserve another great party. Watch for notices for our Volunteers Appreciation Party at the social event on Saturday, April 11th at 5 p.m. Always putting a plug in there. Thank you again to each and every volunteer. We are all over the world. Argentina, Belgium, Brazil, Canada, France, Germany, Ghana, Ireland, Italy, Malaysia, Mexico, and the United States. And we've had a stellar time together, haven't we? Anyone who knows me knows how I love group hugs, so join me now, mind to mind and heart to heart, in a celebration hug that you can feel as if we were all in the same arena, on the same team, and we just won the championship cup. Group hug. Much love and respect to you all. We did it. Oh yeah. See you again next year, our 20th year. Amazing. Just like you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. It was so great that I get to introduce Ice Sky, a brilliant artist, a magician for Burn 2, and a virtual ability, Burn 2 and virtual ability. I don't have enough time to cover everything Ice Sky does for our conference. I think she lurks in the shadows in every committee. I swear she was everywhere, and sometimes two places at once. Make that three. But I will say she knows her stuff and never hesitated to dive right in for every problem or question. I'm sure I drove her just a little crazy, so thank you, Ice Skyzy. I am in awe of your talents, and for making the badges to boot. I love how our badge roof looks like an arrow pointing to our heart, because that's what it takes to make our conference happen. And I swear, Ice Skyzy, your heart gallops. And Electra will be voicing for Ice Sky.
Thank you, Buffy, for your very kind words, and thank you, Electra, for being my voice here today. I've been a resident of Second Life since 2009 and found my way to VWBPE in 2013 as a mentor. What brought me here, and what has kept me here, is something quite personal. I am deaf, and from the very beginning I was struck by this community's early commitment to accessibility and inclusion. The use of transcription meant I could actually follow presentation, understand speakers, and participate fully. When I joined the organizational committee in 2014 and discovered the meetings happened in text, it was genuinely empowering in a way that is hard to overstate. The educational community here welcomed me, supported me, and over the years I have made so many friends and watched all of us grow and evolve together. That means everything to me. So when I say thank you to our transcriptionists, our interpreters of the park system, please know that my gratitude is especially personal. Transforming spoken words into meaningful text is no small thing. A heartfelt thank you to Sci-Fi Techno, Katie Henningham, and Electra Panther for their invaluable work. I'd also like to extend my deepest thanks to the VWBPE mentors, our counselor guides, for their dedication in supporting presenters and promoting the use of virtual words in education. And a special thanks to Electra Panther, who trained new mentors and provided refresher sessions for experienced ones. As IT chair, I work closely with Park Director Phelan and Education Directors Elli, Pinion, and Marie to keep the VWBPE website running throughout the year. There's more to it than a let on, but it's all good, and we strive to make things better every year. A quick word about this year's badges, which I just can't resist. The log cabin shape is a nod to our VWBPE International Parks team, and maybe a little reminder of summer camp days. Attendees were our IP campers, presenters our camp counselors, and hosts our park guides. I hope you camp counselor enjoyed sharing your sessions. Over these 3 days, so many happy campers were active participants in your presentations. Thank you all for your support, your hard work, and your good humor. And now, for those who have been part of Second Life and the Virtual Worlds community, it took quite a length of time. This next name will need no introduction. Bevan Whitfield has been a tireless presence at the Second Life community conferences, a familiar voice on Twitter and Facebook, and for the last 17 years, a member of the board of directors at Rockcliffe University, which has been stewarding VWBPE for 2 decades. She has championed virtual worlds through her early work with numerous organizations, including the inward presence of several world-class universities, and served as VWBPE Communication Chair in 2014. Last year, she returned as Communications Co-Chair and stepped up this year as Communications Chair. It is my genuine honor to introduce my colleague and friend, Bevan Whitfield.
Hello? Thank you so much, Ice Sky and Electra. That's a lovely introduction. Ice Sky, I've always loved working with you all these years. I've been following VWBPE over the years, well, because of Rockcliffe, of course. I've been helping behind the scenes when needed, and I'm so glad to be part of the action team again. Last year, I had the chance to ease back in by co-chairing with Pi, and I'd like to thank her for the time she spent with me, and I wish we'd had more time to work together. Elli has done a wonderful job of cat herding with all of the behind-the-scenes craziness going on, and she deserves a round of applause for that. Chandra has not only planned the great social events, but she also took fabulous photos of the venues for our social media, and that was a great pleasure to work with. Clicking. Well, not part of the communications group, Buffy Buell and Blue Barker Lowtide from the volunteers group have been awesome. Blue has such a witty way of announcing the last chance notifications for about to start presentations, and Buffy has always been there with words of support and a beautifully colored light on the path ahead. And of course, a huge thanks to Kevin, our fearless leader. His vision has been fundamental in shaping VWPE into the institution it is today. A feat made all the more remarkable by the fact that it's been 19 years since its inception. Wow. Last and certainly not least, Beth Ghostraven has been a remarkable colleague. She is a fountain of information, and her support has been invaluable. Her communication skills have been a priceless cornerstone of VWBPE for the last decade. I'm very grateful for all the help Beth has offered through the planning of VWPE 26. And as it has been said before, it takes a village. And we have an awesome village here, and I'm honored to be part of it.
Next, I am very pleased to introduce Chandra Lavendel, known to many of you as Chandra. Chandra earned her doctorate from the University of New Mexico in Organization, Information, and Learning Sciences, and she currently serves as the manager for administrative operations for graduate studies at UNM. As the social committee chair, Chandra plays a vital role in bringing our community together. Please welcome Chandra as she shares more about the work of the social committee. And thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Bevan. I'd like to take a moment to recognize a group of people who help bring heart and energy to this conference, our social committee. Thank each of you for your time, your creativity, and your willingness to jump in and make these events so welcoming and memorable. These moments of connection don't just happen. They're thoughtfully planned, coordinated, and brought to life by an incredible team. Beth, Lua, Thunder, and Jiri, thank you all for everything you've done this year to make our social activities such a success. Beth, a huge thank you to you. I truly would not have survived the last-minute to-do lists without your support. You're always on top of the daily note cards, and you consistently catch the details I miss, especially right before the conference begins. Your organization and dedication makes all the difference. Lua, a special welcome and thank you for joining the social committee this year. We've so enjoyed your presence, especially during those early morning coffee chats. I appreciate you navigating the local chat and making everyone feel welcome. Your warmth and enthusiasm helped create such a comforting space for everyone. Thunder, your expertise with Second Life games has been invaluable. I'm especially grateful for your help in getting the Wetlands Trivia Note card figured out. It made the event possible and enjoyable for so many. If there's lightning, there's thunder. Jri, your unique avian perspective and deep knowledge of the virtual world always adds something special. I love visiting with you when we bump into each other while exploring events. This sparks conversations about performers for next year, something I always look forward to. And of course, your fishing skills are truly unmatched. And a shout out to my friends who brought their Second Life expertise and experiences to you all this year. Lychee Moonwall, Anu Papu, and Toshiha Magic. The music, dance, and culture they shared are only found here in Second Life. And finally, a very special thank you to my friend, DJ Exquisite. As a past educator in virtual worlds, the time you spend here sharing your talent and creating joyful spaces through music means so much to us all. It's truly a gift to our community. I hope you all come spend the final 2 hours of the conference at Dance the Night Away immediately following the closing ceremony. To all of you, thank you for your dedication, your time, and your passion. You help make the conference not just informative, but truly memorable. Elli Pinion serves as a member of our executive committee and will next present the 2025 Thinkerer Award for outstanding service across the metaverse.
Thank you, Chandra. And before I get started, I don't have a chance to say all these wonderful things about this great group. So I just want to say thank you, Kevin, and thank you, Marie. What a great job, and what a pleasure it is to work with you and all the committee and all of our volunteers. Thank you guys so very much. Okay, let me do my job and stop my phone. Sorry about that. In 2014, the VWBPE Organization Committee instituted a Personal Achievement Award to recognize an individual who has provided outstanding service to both the field of education and the virtual world community at large. Our past recipients include Joyce Bellancourt, Rihanna Schotyor, Lorraine Mockford, our wonderful LV, Sheila Weber, Sheila Yokoshima, I say her name wrong all the time, Yokokawa, thank you. Doris Milano, Piana Destiny, Lynn Barrett, Wisdom Seeker, Renee Brock, Cinia Zaber, Barbara Truman, Delightful Duwenger, Val Hill, Val Librarian, Cynthia Colomb, which I say her name wrong all the time, who is our dear Lear Lobo, Andrew Wheelock, Spiff Whitfield, and Alice Kruger, the amazing Gentle Heron. And of course, our wonderful namesake, Selby Evans, our original thinkerer. Many of our thinkerers were around the conference over the past 3 days, still generously sharing and supporting us, and we so appreciate that. We hope you were able to attend the Above the Books today, catching up with the thinkers, with many of our thinkers. It is inspiring how thinkers continue to make such a difference. They are all true collaborators and leaders. Please give them a round of applause. The Thinker Award is presented to an individual whose deeds and actions have shown consistent selfless service toward the promotion of learning, community, educational practices, and who exemplifies the spirit of cooperative development within immersive environments. The recipients of this Lifetime Achievement Award are not simply outstanding professionals in their field. They characterize transformational leadership qualities, which envision and guide change, enhance the motivation, morale, and performance of others, promote best practices and continuous improvement, and also inspire through their words and actions. It is a pleasure to introduce the recipient of the 2016 VWBPE Thinker Award, an educator whose work has quietly but profoundly shaped the way virtual worlds are used for learning. Known in the world as Dodge Three Beards and in the physical world as Dr. Gregory Perrier, is our 2026 Thinker Award recipient. And here he is. Dr. Perrier has spent decades expanding the boundaries of what education can look like when curiosity meets innovation. He began his career with a PhD in plant ecology from Utah State University, followed by 8 years in Africa working in rangeland conservation with USAID, grounding his teaching in real-world impact and the global perspective. In 2000, he joined Northern Virginia Community College, where he would go on to inspire generations of students as a biology professor. But it is his pioneering work in Second Life that truly distinguishes him. Beginning in 2010, he introduced honors students to immersive experiential learning in virtual environments, long before such approaches were widely recognized. By 2012, as manager of Nova's virtual campuses, he transformed a modest initiative into a thriving, dynamic program. What began with just a handful of students grew into an ecosystem supporting over 400 learners annually. with more than 20 structured learning activities spanning biology, art, language, and healthcare. Yet his impact extends far beyond a single institution. As a founding member and ongoing leader in the Virtual Worlds Education Consortium, Dr. Perrier has mentored educators, helping them find their footing in virtual teaching spaces, whether through workshops, collaborative builds, or his weekly fireside chat that continue to bring the community together. He has shared his expertise through the Virtual World Educational Roundtable, the VW MOOC, and this very conference, always with a spirit of generosity and curiosity, from developing onboarding experiences for new educators to contributing to widely used orientation spaces. His work has lowered barriers and opened doors for many who follow in his footsteps. At the heart of it all is a simple but powerful commitment to imagine new possibilities for learning and to bring others along in that vision. For his sustained innovation, his mentorship, and his unwavering belief in the educational potential of virtual worlds, the VWBPE Organizational Committee proudly confirms Dr. Gregory Perrier, Dodge Threebeards, as the 2026 VWBPE Thinkerer Award recipient. Congratulations, Greg.
Thank you, Elli. Wow, this is quite an honor. I'm honored to be awarded the Thinkerer Award. I want to thank VWBPE, the conference committee, the volunteers, and others who make this amazing event each year. I would also like to specifically thank Kevin Feenan and Second Life for their help with this conference and with this award. My experiences in Second Life have been somewhat unusual because when I entered Second Life in January of 2010, my institution in Northern Virginia Community College, we call it NOVA, already had a full region in Second Life that had been used by a professor. So when I started bringing my students into Second Life in the fall semester of 2010, a program was already in place. But initially I was working in isolation. What was missing were the interactions in Second Life with professors at other institutions. I would visit other higher education regions, but no one was there, and it seemed like they were not being used. Over my second year in Second Life, I slowly made contact with other professors and realized how important it is to share our experiences. That is why I was very excited to participate in the VWBPE, where I met other educators and learned how they were using virtual worlds. Also, my interactions with educators in virtual worlds increased greatly when I got involved in the VWEC with its numerous events supporting education in virtual worlds. I learned that by working together, we can have a significant impact. And I hope to continue to work with many of you to expand the use of virtual worlds in education. Thank you for this award. Thank you very much.
Well, here we go. You're stuck with me again. So, while this is nearing the end of our 3 days together, this is not actually the end of VWBPE. Between now and April 1st, we have more immersive experiences that I highly encourage everyone to attend. So there is still lots more to come, and especially, we want you to save the date for the 20th annual VWBPE conference together, happening March 11th through 13th, 2027. Together, we expand access to affordable and accessible technologies that make immersive learning available to more people in more places. Together, we strengthen equity, inclusion, and best practices so that students and instructors alike benefit from richer and more supportive learning environments. Together, our shared work helps turn emerging possibilities into sustainable educational realities. Together, we design, engage, pedagogical grounded experience, and develop better ways to assess how VR, AR, and virtual worlds contribute to meaningful learning outcomes. Above all, together, we prepare for a future shaped by pedagogy informed but not controlled by machine learning and artificial intelligence through nurturing creativity, independence, and critical problem solving. Our goal is not simply to adopt new technologies, but to help learners use them wisely, ethically, and imaginatively together. Watch for information this summer and the call for proposal to open this fall. I would like to now invite Pookie Amsterdam back to the stage for our closing remarks.
Do not stay here. They carry outward into the world. And in uncertain times, it may not simply be the survival of the fittest, but the survival of the smartest and the kindest. Virtual learning requires investment, not just in infrastructure, but in imagination. Is my voice too low? Hello. Hello. It was up at my antenna. I'm so sorry. Here we go. Are we good? All right. In a world of increasingly scarce resources, the ability to connect with one another has never been more vital. The bonds formed here do not stay here. They carry outward into the world. And in uncertain times, it may not simply be the survival of the fittest, but the survival of the smartest and the kindest. Virtual learning requires investment, not just in infrastructure, but in imagination and in each other. It invites us to rethink value itself. If fewer and fewer people hold the majority of wealth, then we must ask, what truly matters? Perhaps the most enduring form of value is this: goodness for its own sake. Because that kind of wealth never disappears. And what you create here, what you give, improves lives. That's no small thing. You matter to your students, to each other, and to the next generations. We heard throughout this conference about trust, collaboration, and connection. And in immersive environments, these are not just ideas. They are lived experiences. The resourcefulness of the educators in this community, so many of whom have built, taught, and innovated within Second Life for years, gives me real hope for the future. Your dedication to inspiring curiosity and a love of learning is extraordinary. This has truly been a conference of insights. And our quotes: when you want wisdom and insight as badly as you want to breathe, it is then that you shall have it. and that's Socrates. And if a moment's insight is sometimes worth a life's experience, as Oliver Wendell Holmes said, then that moment is based on a life's experience or a second life's experience. And what is life without music and dance? So, now it's time to lively up yourselves with the dance after party we love. That's right, immediately following this, the closing ceremony, I'm just getting the link, we will dance the night away. Yes, we will. Once again, join us at the VWBPE Social Wetlands Center to party on the deck. The best way to celebrate this great conference is to celebrate it with each other and to dance, chat, private IMs, telling each other how much we love their outfits and their gowns, and Phelan, I love your tuxedo. That looks amazing. DJ, yeah, the DJ is going to keep the party hopping, and now is the time to share your favorite moments from VWBPE 2026. Reminisce about the conference, pictures, group hugs, and hang out with friends. Come as you are. You can't hide that here. So see you next year. Our 20th anniversary. Oh my God, VWBPE 2027. Thank you and good night.